with Public Works, we did print some grading question and answers. They have our grading requirements and any answers that are generally asked questions. We went through this a couple years ago with the urgency ordinance, so we updated those. I have copies out on the back. I put 10 copies. I noticed some of them are gone. We're making more copies. I also have the rim sheet calculator. This goes through our department. It's road impact maintenance fees. All new development in the county pays these fees, whether it's a single family home, a new business, any new construction. So there is a link to the road impact fees, what would be due, and it'll advise you to come to Public Works. I brought some cards with our email address. If you want to email the question for us, we can print this out based on the information you give us, send it back to you in writing so you can get your fees together. They're not due at the time that we send this information to you, but you can plan accordingly. And then once you are ready to pay, you'll come into our office as part of the permitting process. I know these fees do have to be paid before your permit can be issued. They're one-time road maintenance fees. If you have a plan where you're doing the phased implementation of your project, you're going to start out with 3 full-time employees during the peak season. Next year, you might want to add processing. If you add more employees or add another work type to your permit, you will come pay the fee for the additional. It will take into consideration the existing so that you won't be charged again for that. It's the same with, a Napa Auto Parts in San Andreas here. If they switched it out or increased their building, they would be paying fees on a portion of the increase, not any of the existing. So it's the same. We have a simple spreadsheet. It's based on number of employees during peak production. It lets you know these are standard fees across California. They're based on the ITE, it's engineers travel, which is a standard for all of California, based on how many trips are generated for business. The cards that I will leave out do have the PubWorks email, so you can email that. It's important to give us your APN number because most grows will just have the road impact mitigation fee. Valley Springs and Copperopolis have their own benefit basins, so those 2 areas will have additional fees that stay with the roads there. This fee does not matter if you are not on a county maintained road. It's anywhere in unincorporated Calaveras County for road use for all the major roads to get anywhere. Yes?
Is that available on the website or somewhere, or where do you get it?
I have not found it on the website.
It is. It's under, I think it was under like FAQs, and then you sort of had a list of all the different, that's where I.
Okay, I looked this morning to make sure on the Cannabis Control Division. I looked under facts and it explained the RIM fee, but I didn't see this printout. Basically, one full-time employee would during peak season would generate 2.91 trips. They consider one trip to work as one trip, leaving as the second trip. It's based off, this approach has been verified in traffic studies performed by Sonoma County, Coachella, Livermore, and Calistoga, among others. One employee is about $1,718.44. Again, the one-time fee. So we will leave the cards out there. You can send us all your information. We can have this filled out. We'll put approved by staff. If you fill it out and do your own calculations, that's okay. But when you bring it in, one of us at the Public Works counter will have to verify so that we put it in the computer. So eventually we'll need one signed by everyone. And for the grading, the question that was earlier about the slopes making cut into mountains or hillsides, anything over a 2-to-1 under the grading ordinance is not allowed. Over a 2-to-1 vertical horizontal. And the way the grading ordinance chapter 15 is written, if you are cutting into a hill moving 25 cubic yards and placing it somewhere else to fill, you might think you're only moving 25. The grading ordinance is that 25 has been moved. Once it's placed somewhere else, it counts as another 25, so that would be 50 cubic yards. It's just the way the ordinance is written. If you took that 25 off, took it off site, that's only 25, but if you place it somewhere else, it's count each time it's moved.
And what if you just scraping vegetation?
Scraping vegetation and brushing is generally allowed. We do encourage everyone to do,
Tree removal and stuff like that, no problem.
that's no problem.
As long as you don't move the dirt from stuff.
Yeah, brushing and clearing's allowed. We do have a notification permit where you just fill out the application. There's no fee. You can let us know. So then if a neighbor calls in and complains, we can say we already have it on file. We have the plan. We know what they're doing. If you do that, if you're creating a fire break or anything like that, we still ask that you have the best management practices, which is part of the CEQA, yeah, the water board's requirements. We can't give you advice on how to do that. We have a website. If you go to CASQA, there's a handbook, and that can tell you with wattles or straw, hay. Technically during the winter from, October to April, rainy season, exposed soil, if you don't have the barrier, it should have plastic covers. We can't tell you what to use, but if you go to the CASQA website, they can give you information on that.
Basically, you clear, you want people water stuff around.
And
Where
be
the water's gonna possibly cause.
Yeah, and be sure to either, once that's cleared, if you're going to plant there, have the plants, put down the seed for new vegetation to grow, grass, whatever, wildflower, I don't know, whatever seed you want to use. Be sure it's seeded. Yes. Okay, so I know we made more copies. They will be out there along with the cards for our general public works, which has the address that you can email, and we can give you an official one of these. Again, if you come back at another time and you get to increase operations, say next year, the fee will only be assessed on the number of employees increased. That's how that works.
Thank you very much. The RIM fee calculator is on our webpage. It's just difficult to find. It's if you go to the regulatory compliance webpage and just read down the page, there's a few drop-down menus you can click on, and one of the drop-down menus is RIM fees, and there's a link to the RIM fee calculator.